Good afternoon. Welcome to Sunday night up here at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport on a warm, muggy evening. Temperature in the 80s today. Pretty breezy.
3000, hotel runway 24, right?
Chance of showers later on tonight. Hopefully they'll stay away. But I wanted to come up here. We got a couple of special liveries coming in. It's just a beautiful night to be outside. So thank you guys so much for being here with us. Hope you're having a great weekend. Couple of special liveries tonight, a couple of 757s tonight. FedEx as well, the 767 Air Lingus tonight.
0014, turn right heading 280.
Who knows what else the world might bring, like this Sun Country 737 we have here today.
Heading 280, 6002, 4 left to pick up Sun Country 8183.
Plug the scanner directly in today. Let me know if it gets too loud. Sun Country and Allegiant earlier, or I guess last week, officially closed their merger. Well, it's a treat to see these aircraft as long as they're still around. I think they're heading to Atlantic City, if I remember right.
Juliet 5 for November.
Here's your 77 contact with center 120.77. Up to the aircraft base.
First aircraft of the day that I tried to shoot, man. Pretty shaky on that one. We'll get better as the evening goes along, for sure. Last airplane I filmed was the Delta Airlines 737 emergency that we had last week. That aircraft is still here. I believe it's on the other side of the concourse. I'll probably drive over tonight and see if we get a picture of it. A friend of mine who works in the ramp here said it looked like they're taking the engine out of it.
Sun Country 8186, close departure, radar contact.
Had an engine failure about 15-20 minutes after it took off from Cleveland. It was in the Columbus area, and they diverted back in. So I put a video up this morning. I went back and grabbed all the live ATC clips for it. So if you haven't checked that out, we had that emergency landing the other night. Delta Connection 4975 CRJ getting ready to taxi. It's heading over to JFK. Our next inbound flight looks like UPS 5448. They're sending two 757s tonight instead of the usual 767. So not sure what's up with that. But we'll have two UPS 757s tonight. Of course, the Cavs and Pistons are playing in Detroit tonight, Game 7. After the Cavs played like total garbage in Game 6 here in Cleveland, got to win tonight. Or else you're going home. People up here tonight just hanging out, enjoying the sun, the warm weather. Might hit 90 degrees tomorrow.
Endeavor 4975, Cleveland Tower, wind 21013, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff.
So the Delta CRJ will be heading out. And grab the comments as we get into the day. Again, I apologize if anything's kind of... I wanted to just plug ATC in today because the road noise is really hard to hear it. So I figured tonight we'll just try to plug it in and see how that goes. I'm sure it's probably going to talk over me though. They get priority.
529 is going to maintain 4,000.
I also got United 737 over at Atlantic. It's one of the baseball charters.
Vector 8186, contact Lieutenant 127.9er. 5448, left at 330.
So it's either the Guardians or the Cincinnati Reds. I am assuming since it's United, it's the Guardians loading up for their next trip. But it is kind of wild to see a 737 on the ramp over there.
Endeavor 4975, contact departure, have your
Contact departure, thank you, for
737 sitting over there amongst the private jets over at Atlanta. So we got Just Planes here today. Mikey's asking since when does Sun Country fly? It's a charter flight. They do casino charters, so it's probably just a charter flight. We had them in 2024. They did nonstop service to Minneapolis, St. Paul, but that did not last very long. Frontier had service up there, and Delta kind of snuffed both of them out. But I took their retro flight, or the inaugural flight, which was pretty cool, but only had like 60 people on it. And so unfortunately, I think that flight was kind of dead in the water, but it's still pretty cool to take it. Had a good time up there. It's not a retro livery, it's just their old livery. They have a few airplanes that haven't painted yet. They actually just unveiled a retro livery though. That's based off of their DC-10 727 livery they had back in the 70s or 80s. I forget exactly where it was from. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. It's got the orange stripes on the side. Really cool.
75 turn, right correcting Floyd.
Got lots to talk about involving air shows today as well with the big announcement with the red arrows. So we'll talk about that. And that's definitely going to change my summer plans a little bit.
Good afternoon, remain 24 left.
Hopefully yours too.
Juliet 5. 24 left, Juliet 5, Lima. 1,000.
And I just placed his Dayton air show's coming up. I can't wait. Yeah, Dayton should be a good show. I still think Columbus is a good show. I know I see a lot of people hyping on Dayton. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a good show. But it's just mostly the single ship demos. When you have two demo teams in Columbus with the snowbirds coming to town.
5448 traffic is left at 12 o'clock,
Red Arrows will be thunder over Michigan, so definitely going to have to make that trip happen this year.
1,600 unverified type
with all the Warbirds, that should be a pretty cool show to see the Red Arrows do their full demo. They're going to be at Baltimore. They're going to do the New York flyover, probably the DC flyover, and they're going to be at Jones Beach. So I'm thinking about trying to go to Baltimore, I think, because Patrol de France is supposed to be there as well. So to go to a show that has the Blue Angels, the Snowbirds, and two European teams at the same show would be... we got a few special liveries tonight, so see what we got. Mikey says the Cavs better win. Yes, they better win. I want UPS to have retros on their 747s. That would be cool. UPS
45, 32 Continental. The Zephyr 6 departure sinker transition then has filed climb via the SID squawk 5740.
5448. feel like United has so much scaled down operations in Cleveland. They've actually added some flights this year. There's a big fight between American and United in Chicago, but
jet speed 50, prepare to jump
FAA is asking, we're telling the airlines to cut flights there, so we'll see how many of those flights actually survive. But we're nowhere near what we were when the United and Continental hub days were here. That is for sure.
Occasional aircraft air jumping operations, Xfinity airport up to 14,500.
Hasn't been any news on the Burke front in a little bit. I know they had a council meeting a few weeks ago, but haven't heard anything else on Burke in a little bit, so we'll have to kind of stay tuned to see where the next direction would go. But I would definitely try to get to the Tibet BT says UA 3778 is a tribe heading to Pontiac. So that is the Guardian's charter flight heading up to Detroit to play the Tigers. Spaghetti MD11 saying, did you hear about the 2 EA-18 Growlers?
Brickyard 3508, proceed direct shark to maintain 4000.
UPS 5448, first of 2 757s here tonight for UPS.
78 Cleveland approach,
changing up a little bit, not sending a 76. But they are sending 2. The second one is airborne, so changing things up a little bit. We'll have 3 UPS 757s on the ramp tonight because there's already one sitting over there. So a little bit of a difference as American takes off.
2542 direct on ground, pushback is approved, as ready tactic. Push approved, will advise.
Yeah, if you hear the news, the Navy Growler demo team.
Left and then left hand golf 7, hold short, runway 24 right, this frequency.
Electronics version of the Hornet.
Golf, left hand golf 7, hold short, runway 24 right, this frequency, UPS 5448.
There were 4 good shoots. Haven't heard anything yet on the condition of the pilots, but it does look like everyone got out, which is good to see. I really wonder what the future of the Navy demo teams are.
Right, clear to land.
Growlers only had, I think, 4 shows on the schedule this year.
Juliet Foxtrot,
Rhino demos don't have very many either. So I wonder what happens with those demo teams long term.
Blue Streak 55, 29, connect tower 124.5.
And the Rios got out of.
Past good Juliet Foxtrot.
Okay, that's a crazy accident. If you watch a video of that, it's a pretty crazy accident.
Wind 21013, gust 20. 24 left at Lima 2 report clear.
Right downside the air shows. Here's the Tribe, United 3778, 737 will be heading up
American
to
1989, clear departure at a contact climb and maintain 147.
Pontiac. So heading up to Ypsilanti, I believe they're heading maybe to Ypsilanti. Or Pontiac. I think it's the Pontiac. They'll be heading up to face the Tigers. Big series for them up there. Got a CRJ inbound. We'll go and stick with the 7-3.
605 Juliet Tango.
Big series for the Guardians who took care of business against the Reds today. Big win today at Progressive Field.
Yeah, 5448. Any chance we can do Golf 5? Yeah, we can still do Golf 5. Hold short, runway 24 right at Golf 5, UPS 5448. Hold short, runway 24 right at Golf 5, UPS 5448.
So big series for them. Take that series and put as much ground between you and the Tigers as you can.
Blue Streak 5529, left to Papa, left on Golf, right on November. Hold short, runway 24 left, this frequency. Left Papa, left Golf, right November, hold short, runway 24 left.
thing that sucks about this is I can't hear ATC. So I have no idea what's going on. That's okay, though. I'll let you guys do it.
448, cross runway 24 right at Gulf 5, taxi to ramp via Victor 2.
Mikey says they're all fine and we're walking around after the ejection. That is good to hear.
UPS 5448, thanks for that. United 3778 Cleveland Tower, wind 21015.
Mikey said the FAA won't let it happen, so the city will pull a Meeks Field regarding Burke. Unfortunately, at least from the meetings that they had a few weeks ago, it sounds like they have support from the Secretary of Transportation as well as congressional support. So if Sean Duffy in Congress signs off on it, there's a pretty good chance that airport closes. But City Council was asking a lot of questions about funding and what tax breaks would be needed to draw business there and whatnot, which I think are very valid questions. We'll see what happens long term down there. I think the city has some other fish that they need to fry first, though.
Make the switch, American 1989 to the center on 34.9.
My opinion on Burke is, if closing it is what's best for the city, then I'm on board with it.
Brickyard 35.
I just want them to have a plan for what they're actually going to do there, because the worst thing that can happen is that ends up being an abandoned plot of land right in downtown.
Tower, Brickyard 3508, 24 right. Brickyard 3508, Cleveland Tower, wind 21014, gust 20, runway 24 right, clear to land. 24 right, clear to land, Brickyard 3508. 5529, appreciate your patience. Cross runway 24 left at November, then ground point 7. 24 left at November, and then ground point 7. Dr. Ron, have a good day. You too.
But we'll see.
American 1078 at Leroy, cleared ILS, runway 24, right approach. 3778. United 3778, 2000, climbing 6000, heading 280. United 3778, clip of departure, radar contact line, and maintain 12000.
Getting ready to go for their flight. We're heading over to Denver, flight 3856. United Express 3508 inbound from Newark.
2064, clip of departure, ident, climb, and maintain 6000.
Just placed, and I would love if they added new international airlines except Aer Lingus and Air Canada. Amen to that. But from everything I've heard, the Aer Lingus flight has been doing really well. So hopefully that'll entice, if not another carrier, maybe it'll entice Aer Lingus to expand, which that would be good to see too. They're 6 times weekly now. They can make that a daily flight. And who knows, maybe long-term, add another flight a couple of times a week, or maybe as long as that flight's doing well, I think that's a good thing. That should hopefully entice more carriers as we go along with the new airport coming. Right now the customs, the checkpoint for customs and everything is definitely a challenge.
Contact
so we see a lot of challenges when they're
Airport,
so hopefully with the new airport, we'll see some changes in that. We can get some more carriers. Or at the very least, if maybe United can throw a London Heathrow or something like that on there with the 757 or A321neo or, something like that long term. But I still think we'll get something more at some point in the next few years. I still feel like Columbus is going to get the next one.
Tower, Frontier 429. Go clear to push. Who's that calling?
Which that will be good to see. I am worried that with Aer Lingus starting service to Pittsburgh here a week from tomorrow, it's the first flight.
You'll be
hopefully that doesn't impact some of our flights.
You're okay with that? No, get you back down to 6,000. United Got it. 3778, contact Cleveland Center.
The one thing with Aer Lingus coming to Pittsburgh now is that it does kind of close the door on the rumors that Cleveland and Pittsburgh can't support the same flight. So there were a lot of people on the forum saying, well, Cleveland has Aer Lingus, so they'll never go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has British Airways and Iceland Air, so they'll never go to Cleveland. Well, maybe, you know, maybe long-term British Airways will come into Cleveland, or maybe we'll get Aer Lingus back, or Iceland Air.
Westbound Skyhawk at a 3,000.
Right now, though,
climbing 6 to 7,000. Again,
focus on that that terminal modernization project.
12064 traffic, 3 o'clock and then 6 miles.
And I think building on what we got too. Frontier is
eventually turning
added flights and taking flights away, which you see with the ultra low cost carriers, but I think we need more support from the majors. Southwest finally added Dallas Love.
Whiskey Juliet, kind of Cleveland Center 120.77. Take care.
But I think we need to see more from United. Americans added some flights. I think we can get some more from the big three. That would be good. Delta brought back Salt Lake City last year and the year before, so I think we need to build on what we got and then aggressively try to campaign to get more carriers, like a Velo that we'll get next month.
Brickyard 4390 fluid approach. Good evening at Boudreaux, cleared ILS. Runway 24, right approach. Two 064, turn left, heading 240.
How windy it was today.
American 1078, traffic no factor. Cox 064, traffic no factor. That was 3375, code approach. Good evening. Expect runway 24 right. Shore 99, Cleveland approach. Good evening. Expect runway 24 right.
So we got Frontier on their way out. We got a United A319 heading out for departure. One of those Chicago flights.
I'll get you moving once the A320 gets moved.
If you live in Cleveland and want to go to Chicago, or live in Chicago and want to go to Cleveland, this is your year.
Flight 4209er, Cleveland departure, radar contact, flying,
on that route.
14000.
C. Fry is here.
1078,
Hope you're doing well today.
American 1078.
Why will the tribe not fly to DTW? And that is a good question. I don't know.
24 right, clear land, American.
That is a very good question, to be honest. I'm not really sure. I know I've been over there and seen several baseball charters while I've been there, so.
All right, thanks, have a good one.
I don't know, that's a good question. Tybus says Sun Country may have been Dan Gilbert's charter for the Cavs. That's a good question, actually. Let me look. I thought it was going to Atlantic City, but maybe it is going to. Oh, nope, you're right. It was 81-86. They went to DTW, so that is probably the Cavs charter. Good call on that. Good catch. American 1078 inbound from Chicago, A319. It's a good catch on that. That is the Cavs fan charter over to DTW.
Positive, you can continue taxi.
Boy, that'd be nice. Get your own charter flight over to Detroit. 20-minute flight.
No worries, we'll hold short right there. Juliet 3 of Lima, United 1633.
That wouldn't be bad. A Hyro here tonight. What about the air show? If Burke closes, that's the end of the air show. At least that has been the consistent wording from the air show committee, who continuously says that there's no way they can still host an air show if Burke Lakefront closes. I don't think they're being creative enough. I think you could, but they're saying that if the airport closes, it'll be end of the air show. So all I can say is, if you want to go, I would try to make plans to go to Cleveland this year. I think it's the weakest of the 3 Ohio shows, but if you want to go see it, I would highly recommend going to see it this year. We need some South American airlines like Copa and Aeromexico.
1673 go. Just to let you guys know,
that would be cool. I think Aeromexico sends E190 up to Detroit.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem.
So we can take something like that. I know Bermuda Air was rumored for a while, but it doesn't sound like that ever ended up happening. Because I think that airline was dealt with
4209 contact Cleveland Center on 134.9.
WestJet would be cool. I agree. Although I wanted them when they still had the special liveries, but
72 approach, hello, runway 24, right, India's turn.
They also serve Detroit, so hey, you never know. I mean, more Canadian service as well. I do think WestJet and Aeromexico are probably the most realistic, but I don't know what the I don't know offhand how many people from Cleveland are going up to
12064 Canada
or down to Mexico, but
Charlie 11,
I'll take wherever we can get. Random Aviation 13 KOMY says, good evening to Plane Spot.
4396 Cleveland clearance, wheels up.
Indeed, it's a beautiful night here tonight. We'll grab the American.
Or it should roughly be a
1078 inbound from
heading.
Chicago O'Hare,
Sliding 220, one able, clear direct 40. Clarity, India 6 matters, 40s. That's closely called that.
The problem with this spot, standing under the tree, is nice and cool, but got a lot of bugs.
275, turn 10 degrees right, vector for the visual post, 1018, 4000.
I took a ladybug home with me the other day. It was actually an actual ladybug. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. I usually see those Asian ladybugs that are kind of orange with a lot of spots. This one was rarely had a couple of spots on it. I haven't seen one of those in quite a while. But I saw something flying around my truck. I'm like, what in the world is that? I let it go. I did waiting for their clearance to O'Hare.
4390, contact tower 124.5.
Alan Lee, ATC, good evening from the northeast of England. Thank you so much for the super chat. It means a lot. I hope you're having a great evening. I can't wait to see your red arrows here in a few weeks. There'll be a Thunder over Michigan, which is about 2.5 hours from here. And, I can't wait to see it. Hope you're having a great evening over there. Just check flight radar 24. I saw Maryland 1. We should see that here in a few minutes. Might even be less than that, actually, to tell you the truth. Yep, Maryland 1 is flight. Come on, Wi-Fi. Well, they're over Richfield. Probably about 5 minutes out from Orlando.
Delta 880, clear departure. Delta 8880, clear departure.
Southwest 3375 out of Orlando. Maryland 1, 6 minutes out. One of the final 737, 700 still wearing a special livery. And definitely one of the coolest ones out there. So we look forward to seeing that one in a few minutes. American Eagle 4390 inbound from LaGuardia. And over at Burke, Delta 8880, 757, the Cincinnati Reds charter. On their way to Philly. Got a SkyQuest Learjet inbound from Midway. We have American Eagle 5170 inbound from DCA, about 6 minutes out. CRJ 700. Air Canada Jazz 647, a new flight for the year out of Montreal on the E175, about 10 minutes out. And then we have FedEx 792 Heavy out of Memphis. They're 15 minutes out. And UPS 5442, the other 757 tonight from UPS. Two 757s tonight, which is kind of unusual. About 20 minutes out for that one.
Delta 8880, that is correct. 055 on the heading, 14,000 to the out.
Why they set two 757s instead of one 767, but
correct.
The ramp's going to be full over there for you guys tonight if any of our UPS friends are watching. Got two 757s sitting over there right now. There'll be a third one coming in. A busy night for those guys tonight.
090.
Or I guess tomorrow. None of them are leaving tonight.
Thank you. Having 10 DS on 8
Bombi 1138 says, just wanted to say thank you for the earlier Delta posts. Thank you so much. That was fun to put together. That was a lot of fun to put together. It was pretty crazy when we were up here on Friday night. I was about ready to pack up and head out and got the alert of the diversion. And I couldn't really hear my scanner to really see what was going on. So went home and wanted to pull the tape. Someone on Facebook was on that I did hear him talking about something with engine 2 when I was up here, so it was pretty cool to put that together.
8880 turn right, 8120.
They were just far enough away too, like they were in the Columbus area when that happened. And so I had to go and pull the Cleveland Center tape for me and transfer to Indianapolis just before that happened, so I had to go find that, but it was a lot of fun to put that together. Probably do a few more of those. Hopefully we won't have to, but
5170 or 6 miles from Sir, cross circuit 3000, third eye left, let me 24 right approach.
Most importantly though, glad the crew got it down safely, glad the first responders are able to get them taken care of. That aircraft is still here, so I'm going to probably drive over tonight to see if I can find it. I think it's over by the Delta concourse. Concourse D on the other side. A friend of mine who works on the ramp said that it looks like they're taking the engine out of it, so we're going to try to see if we can find it. We'll have two of the three Frontier special liveries tonight, back to back, around 7:30. So I want to try to drive over to see those as well. Hopefully they park in that gate that are close enough to each other. We get a picture of both of them.
Number 12064, traffic 12 o'clock and 13 miles opposite direction.
What the weather's like in Chicago. These guys,
12,000, descending for 8,000.
These guys aren't going anywhere. Don't see anything in Chicago. Everything I see is pretty far north of there.
5170.
Same with Detroit. Got some weather north of Flint.
Cleveland Center 120.6.
We'll keep an eye on it. Southwest 3375 inbound from Orlando. It's Maryland 1 special livery tonight. Less than a minute out.
Juliet 2 Juliet. So runner 24 right, close to
Jeff says, hey, Nick, looks like United is in the bullpen again. Yeah, they were definitely over there tonight. The one that went for the Guardians over at Atlantic, and these guys that are stuck in the penalty box. Midges in exchange for catching airplanes.
40840.
We're not there yet. We got a little bit longer for them. We are getting close to Mayflower season.
3856.
Kind of like the midges. Definitely a unique experience living along the lake.
That is still what I'm showing on my end.
For those of you that like to ride roller coasters,
+5 minutes from that time.
You get a little extra protein snack if you ride Millennium Force, Top Thrill 2, or Steel Vengeance, especially at night.
408 Sierra, you flying the B35 or 36 today? 4 Sierra, how high do you want to go? Cleveland Tower, good evening, Sierra Shore 99, Sierra Shore 99, Cleveland Tower, number 2, runway 248, cleared land. Cleared land 248, 2 Shore 99.
Like Southwest was dealing with the wind coming in there a little bit. It was crabbing.
For 8,000 additional traffic, 12 o'clock, 20 miles opposite
Not
direction.
quite the Ryanair landing, a little bit of the Navy landing.
8,000, Boeing 757. 4396, just push Charlie 11, ready to taxi with Victor.
As Maryland 1 rolls out from Orlando. Beautiful looking on that aircraft.
Julia 5 Lima. 24 left, Julia 5
He'll turn around and we'll get it taxiing into their gate, which is more or less right in front of us. So we'll see them here in a couple of minutes.
Left here, left off Golfer, and we'll stay with you, Southwest 3375.
Airport indicating 1,900, verified.
I hope these guys when they land at Chicago, never flown into Chicago. It can be a good time. So you can taxi longer at Chicago than you flight. Last time I went out there, I think the flight was like 36 minutes, and we actually taxied around in here longer than the actual flight. So I hope these guys don't get stuck in some sort of penalty box or something when we get out there and we go right to their gate. Like, have you ever flown out of Chicago or flown into Chicago O'Hare? I don't think it's a hard airport to navigate, but the taxiing situation, the gate situation, it could be a good time. So hopefully these guys can go right to their gate once they land. American Eagle 5170 inbound from DCA on final. So looking at the flag in the background, they are dealing with a bit of a crosswind today.
4396, monitor tower. Monitor tower, breakout 4396.
X792, heavy descending between 4,000.
For 12064 to set of 18,600, traffic no factor.
PSA Airlines operated CRJ out of Washington Reagan National. We're rolling out. Southwest is taxiing over by us. Check this out.
Left November, cross from 24 left in November, traffic holding in
Catch
position.
them? There they are. They're on the near taxiway.
Southwest 3375, cross from 24 left at Sierra, traffic holding in position.
All right, at Sierra, cross 24 left to Southwest 3375.
Breakout 4396, Cleveland Tower, running 24 left, line up away, traffic downfield. 24 left, line up away, breakout 4396.
It's a nice ATC to bring them over this way instead of going over the other side on the
3375, contact ground point 7.
the taxiway that takes them over.
Ground point 7, Southwest 3375.
Nice of them to bring it over this way for us tonight so we get a nice up close shot of it.
Ground point
3375, we are on Lima, head to Bravo 10.
7. 3375, right turn Juliet 5, Juliet.
Right turn Juliet 5, Juliet, Southwest 3375.
Gravelly. Yard 4396. Juliet. Lima, Kilo, Juliet, Kilo, Juliet.
Cleveland approach hello, runway 24 right.
American Eagle E175 heading out.
9, right, left November, hold short, 24 left, and street.
Southwest, parks at the worst gate for spotters.
Because Aviation
Here at
going to
Hopkins
midway, so
Airport,
it might be a little
Bravo
bit off track from Lima Lima 10.
Have your airfield touch at 2 o'clock and 12 miles.
I say that because you cannot see that gate from the garage.
792 heavy,
That's where Independence 1 parked the other night.
approach, runway 24 right.
If it was at Bravo 11, you could see it where the heart livery is over there, but at 10 you can't see it. It's angled away from the garage, so you can't get a nice shot of that aircraft sitting at the
Departure, have a good one.
sitting at the gate from over there.
Heavy, contact number 124.5 today.
Columbus has a gate like that too. I think it's Alpha 1, if I remember right. They have a gate that just with the design of the terminal, you can't see it. But it was really cool to see that airplane a couple of weeks ago. The Canada Jazz 647 bound for Montreal.
Tower number 2,
But after that, we should have FedEx 767.
Air Shuttle 6145, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff. Runway 24 left, clear for takeoff, Air Shuttle 6145. Coming 14,000, Hopkins Void 1. Brickyard 4396, clear departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 14,000. Climb maintain 14,000, Brickyard 4396.
is going to maintain 4,000.
As Jazz rolls out, we have a United Express.
Turn right heading 010, vector flying. Turn right heading 010.
Or the old livery heading out. Looks like a Mesa registration on this aircraft, so I'm going to assume either Newark or Dulles, but I could be wrong. Houston, I was wrong.
Cross, runway 24 left at November, contact ground point 7. Cross 24 left at November, contact ground point 7, just 637. Air Shuttle 6145, contact departure, take care. Departure, good day, Air Shuttle 6145.
So FedEx 361 is on final. It's our 767-300 out of Memphis.
4,000 on the Zappa.
Air Shuttle 6145, clear departure, radar contact,
climb, about a minute or so out.
4,000.
Just says, hey, they can have the air show at Dayton or Akron Airport.
145. Bonanza 40840.
Well, they could definitely have it. They have the Dayton Air Show,
6.35.
which is every bit as good as the one in Cleveland. The only downside to Dayton is with Cleveland, you have the lakes, you have really good lighting, you have a nice breeze all day. Where I feel like at Dayton you cook, but the two air shows are very, very, very similar. Dayton always has a much better static lineup, so if you want to see static aircraft, they're on the B-52 this year. I think a P3 Orion is going to be there, I think. Samaritan's Purse is bringing either their 757 or 767. But Dayton's always a really good air show. Akron Fulton has an air show now. It's called Props and Pistons. They host it every August.
6442, you're 4 miles
never get as big as Cleveland, of course, with the air show box and everything around it, but it's a pretty good little air show to put around.
Our tower, United 1673.
Alice says, I was with the red arrows. That's awesome. I think I lost the end of it. We should try to find the second half of your comment here. If you wait on UPS or FedEx, so give me 1 second here.
65133, proceed direct shift, heading
Alan's comment as I wait.
miles southeast of the gate.
Alan says, I was with the Red Arrows on the first visit to the U.S. in 1972. That is awesome. Did you serve with Did you serve with them, or did you just go to check them out?
Flight 4118, turn left heading 330.
Yard 4396, contact Cleveland Center 120.77. 2077, how many day for job 4396?
4118 is at maintain 3000.
You're familiar with the agreement for the jump zone area? Very well, thanks.
Flight 4118, you're 6 miles from Shirk, turn left heading 265, maintain 3000 till established, cleared ILS, coming 24 right approach. Flight 3375, contact approach on 128.25.
FedEx 361 rolls out. Just came in from Memphis, 767-300. Meanwhile, United finally out of the penalty box.
FedEx 792 heavy.
Airbus A319 on their way to Chicago.
And left onto, actually, that's a left on the Gulf. All right, left turn on the Gulf. On 135.1.
Meanwhile, the other UPS 757, flight 5442, is on final, about a minute out. Followed by Frontier 4118 out of Myrtle Beach. And American Eagle 5133 out of Philadelphia. This is United 1673 on their way to Chicago.
Cleveland approach from a 24 right.
Trying to look to my left because I don't want to miss the UPS when it shows up here in a few seconds. Don't think we'll have time to get both of them unless these guys hold on the runway.
Flight 4118 Cleveland Tower, runner 24 right, clear away.
It's 5133, you're 8 miles from Shirk, cross Shirk at 3000, cleared ILS, runway 24 right approach.
Sorry about that. I was looking to my left and trying to pan to my right. We did have enough time to catch it, so. Thread of the needle there, waiting on the UPS.
73 contact departure today.
Second 757 of the night, flight 5442.
80.
Behind the tree here, we should see it here momentarily.
Flighting 300, vector climb, higher here momentarily. Departure guys, 2.2 on the Great Lakes side. At 1673, clear departure at a contact line and maintain 14,000. I maintain 14,000, that is. Boy 3375 to send a maintain 12,000. Now, but it's still not too heavy, we'll drop right now. 22 heavy, moving ground, taxi to the ramp, rather than Kilo Hotel. Hotel to the ramp, that's so nice to be able to get in. Sure, dial-up 24 right. 5133 Cleveland Tower, runway 24 right, cleared away.
That was kind of a neat shot with the FedEx underneath the UPS as they were flaring for touchdown. That was pretty cool.
Left turn, left on Gulf, remain the frequency.
So not sure why we got two 757s tonight. That's definitely unusual. Usually they only send one. Usually it's a 767, but if they do send a 75, usually it's just one. So a little bit of a treat to get two tonight. FedEx with the usual 767. Occasionally they'll send an A300.
40.
We're not lucky enough to get MB-11s here from FedEx.
442, hold short, 24, ready, call 5. UPS 5442, hold short,
We'll taxi over to their
right,
ramp on the South Cargo ramp here at Hopkins. Well, we got the Frontier. This Frontier is inbound from Myrtle Beach. A320neo.
That is 1673, contact Cleveland Center on 135.1.
Friday night when we were here, we had a retirement flight.
UP correction Frontier flight 4118.
For UPS.
Left November, left on Gulf, remain this frequency. November left Gulf, stay with you, Frontier flight 4118.
The firefighters set up the water arcs just outside of the UPS gate, UPS ramp to our right.
4000.
We got to watch a 767 go through the arcs, which is pretty cool. Don't have that going on tonight.
Fully 3375.
We do have 3 UPS 757s on the ramp
7,000, on board 3375. Short
both came in from Louisville, Kentucky.
Short of 24 left at 0.
The World Port down there, UPS's main hub. One of the world's
194, 13 miles from Shore, cross circuit 3000, cleared ILS, runway 24 right approach.
In Louisville.
550 Victor Golf, clear Papa Delta Kilo Petrie
Home to the
Development Airport.
Derby and the unfortunate accident they had last year with the MB-11. UPS is waiting to cross because we have American Eagle 5133. It's a CRJ 700 out of Philadelphia here on final. Alaska 216 out of Seattle is about 10 minutes out. And Aer Lingus about 5 minutes out. Flight 9 Alfa Romeo A321neo tonight. Only a few minutes out.
Envoy 3375, descend and maintain 5,000. And maintain 5,000 on board 3375. Medevac 550 Victor Golf, contact Cleveland Center 134.
UPS holds short. We grab the American Eagle CRJ that's inbound.
Romeo is going to maintain 5,000.
5442, cross, runway 24, rating, Gulf 5, Victor 2 to the cargo ramp. UPS 5442, clear to cross, 24 right,
Frontier
Gulf
taxiing
5,
over behind
Victor
UPS.
UPS 5442.
Being reduced speed to 250. Roger, reduced speed to 210.
Sean 125.5. 25.5, 3375, good day. Okay. Sorry, take it. This is unable with no. Okay, sorry, it looks like you're slowing down there, looks like you're about to make the turn. Blue Chick 5163 left on Papa.
Contact tower 124.5, good day.
24 left at Papa and contact ground 0.7.
So we join the other two 757s on the ramp over there. One is just behind you. You can probably see it to the left. The other one is off to the right.
And Denver 5194, Cleveland Tower, runway 24 right, clear to land. Clear to land, 24 right. Frontier flight 4118, cross runway 24 left at Sierra, contact ground point 7.
You pull out on Sierra, ground point 7, Frontier flight 4118, unit.
Good pull out. I'll show you all three of them.
Depart Tribe, heading 325.
So 3 UPS 757s over there.
16 at Elbow, you're cleared. ILS runway 24 right approach.
588 for the departure, ident.
Meanwhile, the Frontier Neo just came in from Myrtle Beach. Already the Elk, this A320 Neo. One of the flights that Frontier has picked up from Spirit. This used to be a Spirit flight. With that airline ceasing operations, Frontier and JetBlue have picked up some of those routes to go to these airports around the country, and the ones that Frontier has picked up from us, for us, is Myrtle Beach. Which is probably a pretty good pickup, a pretty popular summer destination, vacation spot for many people here in Northern Ohio, or Ohio in general.
4954 at Elroy, you're cleared. ILS runway 24 right approach.
.588, turn left, heading 320.
Alpha Romeo, maintain 180 knots or greater to shore. Contact tower, good day.
.588, turn left, heading 240. 180 knots, right. Sam McNider, Alpha Romeo, Cleveland Tower, number 2, runway 24 right, cleared away.
We should lose FedEx here in a second as it passes behind the building. Or, sorry, Frontier. FedEx we already lost, as they've made it over to the cargo ramp.
357 descend and maintain 3000.
So we'll go back to Maryland 1. As Delta Connection 5194 CRJ inbound from LaGuardia, less than a minute out, followed by Aer Lingus Alaska, another Delta Connection flight. This one's out of Detroit.
It's just 588, Clitoris tail, or correction, Clitoris tail.
And I thought the NetJets was coming here, but it looks like it just took off out of Cuyahoga County Airport. Just Plays says, Maryland 1, beautiful livery, but Arizona 1 is kind of better on their 800. I haven't seen the Arizona 1 yet.
Today.
I'm excited to see that one. Their 700 on that was beautiful. That is a really cool aircraft to check out. Allison, I was with the Red Arrows on the first visit to the U.S. in Washington in 1972. That is an amazing story. Really cool story. Can't wait to see him myself here in a few weeks.
With 210 at 14.
27 at Boudreaux, you're cleared. ILS runway 24 right approach.
And Jeff says scanner's a little loud. I apologize. It's actually down as low as it'll go. So I'm just trying to find a new experience tonight. Because over the traffic and the wind, I haven't been really been able to hear it. So I wanted to try something a little different. Plane says props and pistons will be hype with the F-16 and the P-51. That'll be one of the last chances to see the red, white, and blue YF-16 livery on the Viper demo So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I've seen it a couple of times in the past, but definitely looking forward to seeing it at Akron. Still thinking it'll probably be based out of Akron Canton, but we should find out closer to the show. If it does, then we'll probably go to Akron Canton at some point to catch them taking off and landing. Alan says I was a member of the Royal Air Force Air Traffic Control. Well, thank you for your service. I bet you have some absolutely incredible stories doing that. I would love to hear some of them someday for sure. Plane said, you see the British Tornadoes because those swept wing jets are amazing for Europe back then.
376, fluid approach, good evening. Expect runway 23 at Akron, Kansas.
Speaking of Europe, Aer Lingus, inbound from Dublin.
357, connect tower, 118.5.
Not really, but you can just hold the position there, hold for the Juliet, and let me know you want to continue inbound. 5184,
southwest over there.
Instructions,
Pakistan's SG Commando says hello. Hope you're doing well today. Asking you what camera I'm using. I'm using a Panasonic HCX 1500 for the live streams. I usually use a Sony a7 III. But it's not a good camera to stream with, so I use the camcorder for the live streams.
15 degrees left, descend, maintain 7,000.
One of these days I'll upgrade that, but for now it works just fine for what I need to do. This is a good camera. I kind of prefer the Sony camcorders a little bit more, but this is a pretty good camera.
Heading 040, 7,000.
It makes live streaming pretty easy, but it's really bad at night. As soon as we get into a low light situation, the autofocus is just gone. There's Alaska 216, 737-900 out of Seattle. We're now in our twice daily phase with Alaska, as they get here about 5:30 in the morning. Which is usually when they send their cool airplanes. They usually send them on the 5:30 in the morning time. So if you want to see one of the special liveries, it's usually, you got to get up here way too early in the morning. But they never did send the Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It was on there twice. They took it away twice, and I went to Detroit one day and Pittsburgh the next. Delta Connection 4954 out of Detroit over downtown, followed by United Express 3527 out of Washington Dulles. And hoping for better results tonight, Delta 2750 out of Atlanta, which was a flight that had the emergency landing the other day. Pakistan's asking when will the MD-11 come back? Well, we'll never see it again, more than likely here, since UPS retired their fleet officially. FedEx and Western Global are bringing them back. FedEx has a few now. They've been doing a few flights with them out of Memphis. I think Miami and maybe Los Angeles got them. But FedEx doesn't send the MD-11s here, so very unlikely we'll see one here. We might see one down at Rickenbacker. We'll definitely see the Western Global ones down there. But in fact, I think there's two Western Global MD-11s down there right now, so have to keep an eye on those, and if we find out when they fly, we'll go down and try to catch one. But they're slowly creeping their way back into service. The Omega DC-10 tanker is flying again, and I saw where 10 Tanker, the aerial firefighting company that uses DC-10s, are starting to get their aircraft back in the air. So we'll see some tri-jets, just probably not here. Unless Western Global brings one in or something, we probably won't see him here, but I'm looking forward to seeing one someday. Just plain saying, I'll tell you, my American flight had a hard landing in Dallas. I hope you had a good time. Geek Lord says Alaska is bringing the honoring those who serve livery in the morning. See what I mean? They like to come in early in the morning with the cool stuff. Or take it away. They're really good at changing aircraft at the last minute. The only one I haven't seen yet is the Tiana livery. I haven't seen that one yet. We finally got Star Wars. It took it like 2 years to come in. We finally got that one last year, and it came in on just the crappiest, like low ceilings, rainy, just icky day, but still we were at least able to see it. Still waiting for that one down in Columbus. Fortunately for us, Alaska parks at Charlie 4, Charlie 6 in the, when they come in, which is right next to the garage. So you can get some really nice photographs of the Alaska liveries when they come in. JetBlue parks over there as well, and occasionally at night American will park over there, so you can get some pretty cool special livery shots if they send them in from the garage. And over at Columbus, Alaska parks literally right next to the garage at their gate. And so the evening flight, you can get some really good lighting on it. So hopefully someday. I haven't been down to CMH in a while, but we'll go down in a couple of weeks for the Columbus Air Show. And hopefully we'll get some cool aircraft down there. It's been a little bit since I've had a reason to go to Columbus. Really hoping that Independence 1 shows up down there at some point. Because when that aircraft comes in, you'll get some really cool shots of it, because their gate is right in front of the parking garage, and they taxi right in front of it. So looking forward to seeing Independence 1 down in Columbus, hopefully at some point soon. Probably when I'll have to work though, but hopefully some point soon. American Eagle 5529 taxiing out for Charlotte, CRJ. American Eagle 3327 inbound from Dulles. And I see the SkyWest livery is on its way to Akron-Canton. Akron-Canton got the American Eagle retro last night. JetBlue is C7. Alaska's C6. Okay, that's good to know. I knew it was something like that. My brain isn't working tonight, but you can get some amazing shots over there. We had the new Blueprint livery last week up here. Which someone pointed out on Instagram, and they're 100% right. The old Blueprint livery had, they did the Blueprint graphics on the engine cowlings too. The new one, they didn't do that. It just has blue engine cowlings. I didn't even notice that, and someone pointed it out. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're right. It's a little bit of a downgrade on the new Blueprint livery, but it's on the A220, which is an upgrade. American Eagle heading out for Charlotte. And Delta 2750 is our next inbound flight. American Eagle, the PSA operated aircraft heading to Charlotte. Airport that we should be visiting later this year. Probably in the September, October time frame for us. Got some family down that way, so. Hoping to go down and visit them this year. If we do, of course, we'll do probably a couple of streams at Charlotte Douglas for you, but we probably won't fly. We'll probably just drive, but hoping to get down there later on this year. Connection inbound from Detroit. American uses the even side of Charlie during morning departures and for the night. Pretty cool when you go there to get one of those special liveries for sure. I got the classic retro over there. I'd like to get the TWA retro at some point. I got the Air Cow retro over there too. But pretty neat to see some of the aircraft parked over there. I think the Delta that had the engine failure the other day is parked over there right now. So when we're done here, I'll probably drive over there and see if we get some photos of that one. He goes, if we're able to get the new Southwest 250th livery they brought in the other week. I did catch it coming in. I didn't get it going out though. I wasn't able to get up here in the morning to catch it going out, which I wish I did because some of the people that came up here got some nice daylight shots of it. I came up for the landing and tried to grab a couple of pictures of it as a taxi. So I posted them on my Instagram, but I'm looking forward to seeing that one in the day. That is a beautiful livery though. I do believe that Freedom 1, November 500 Whiskey Romeo, was returned to the lessee, however you say it. I believe that aircraft is now out of the fleet. Replaced by Liberty 1, which wears an identical livery to it, but was hoping to see them together at some point. Just as we see the MD-11 a lot at Bangor and the C5 and Stratotakers. You got some pretty cool stuff up there. Did you get the B2 last year? Or did it land at Peace? I think it landed at Peace. But yeah, you get some cool stuff up that way for sure. So with JetBlue taking 2 morning departing flights from Cleveland, they use C6 as their main one to JFK and sometimes switch it to C8 to 10 depending on who's got the gates that night. That's good to know. I was wondering how that was working with the multiple flights now. Gotta take that one. That's the JFK flights. Pretty good timing if you want to do a day trip to maybe the TWA hotel or something. That might be a trip to take because they leave in the morning and come back in the evening. So that actually might be a pretty good flight to take. And with the hotel being hooked right up to that terminal, it'd be a pretty easy day. Eagler says, I'm hoping when a Velo comes, they take Alpha 1 from Spirit. I'm assuming you'll be right. I'm assuming you'll be right on that one. Here's Delta 2750. 737 inbound from Atlanta. Hoping for a little better luck for these guys tonight. They were the diversion flight on Friday night. On their way back home, they had an engine failure in the Columbus area and had to divert back. 737-900 out of the Atlanta airport, one of the world's busiest airports. I think they've been dethroned now, but dethroned. But definitely an incredibly busy airport. Southwest getting ready to push back for their flight to Denver. It does say they had the engine failure Delta over there. Okay, cool. So I'll have to try to make my way over just to see if I can get a picture of it. I wish I was over there after the diversion when the firefighters followed it over there. Southwest pushing back. They should be heading to Denver. And it looks like a FlexJet aircraft should be heading out soon as well. Meanwhile, our next inbound flight is a special livery, flight 2698. It should be Maria the Bald Eagle for Frontier, one of the America's Green Airline liveries. About 2 minutes out for Frontier. After that, we'll have a NetJet citation out of Chicago. United Express 5697 out of Chicago, about 20 minutes out. American Eagle 4409. JetBlue 541 out of Boston, about an hour out. Frontier 3232 out of Las Vegas is a little over an hour out. Southwest 4101 from Phoenix. Southwest 4258 out of Las Vegas, and United 1896, all are inbound flights. So we'll grab the Frontier special livery. There should be two of the America Greener Airlines liveries coming in, but it looks like the other one is delayed. So showing an 8:56 arrival for the other one, so about an hour delayed. I was hoping to get them back to back. They were literally supposed to be here within minutes of each other if the other one had been able to leave on time, so we would have seen two of these together. So as Frontier rolls out, Delta is pulling into their gate, and Southwest should be taxiing out. So a little disappointing that we're not going to get these two together, with the second one coming in around 9 o'clock now. But as long as this one doesn't leave before that one gets there, there still might be a chance to at least get a picture of them together. If I decide to stay that long, which I don't know if I'll stay that long. We got to get some dinner and get ready for work tomorrow, but we'll see how things go. Here's Southwest. Been a long couple of days. Yesterday we had kind of a date day. Got some work done around the house, but went out and had a nice lunch together, which was pretty cool. The plan was to mow yesterday, but Mother Nature brought the rain again. So probably try to mow tomorrow night after work. And to do another live stream maybe Tuesday night up here. And today, after our bedroom was like 900,000 degrees last night, we decided that it is time to put the air in. "90 degrees tomorrow, and we should be back in the 60s for Wednesday. So welcome to Northeast Ohio. Here's the Frontier. It's Maria the Bald Eagle. We saw it Friday night, making another trip back through Cleveland. Came in from Phoenix a couple of minutes ago. One of the first 3 A321neos in Frontier's fleet. Wyatt wears a special livery. The first 3 got a special livery. And we're supposed to have seen Frederick the Bald Eagle later on tonight, the first one, which we should see. It's supposed to be here now, but it looks like it's not going to come until around 9 o'clock. Surprised, to be honest, that the diecast collectors haven't got a hold of these yet. Or the diecast manufacturers. I think all 3 of these would be a pretty neat diecast. You can even do a collection with all 3 of them together. They're all 3 slightly different. They're very, very similar. The difference is the eagle on the tail is in a different pose on all 3 of them. So this one has the wings spread. I think one is in kind of the attack position, where it has the it's swooping in for an attack and its talons are like ready to grab something. And I forget what the third one is like. There's a 4th Bald Eagle livery in Frontier's fleet, but it's just the standard Frontier livery on the A321. But the first 3 Neos all got this special livery. With the opening of the crew base here a couple of years ago, we see all 3 of them quite a bit, but we haven't seen them together yet. We've had them within a couple of minutes of each other, so I thought tonight might be the first time to actually see them, at least 2 of them together. There's still a chance that this one's supposed to leave around the time the other one is expected in now with the delay. There's still a chance we'll see 2 of them together tonight. Let's zoom out. Let's get 2 special liveries in one shot. Ah, look at that. Maryland 1 or this Frontier special livery? Which one do you prefer? I like green, but I think I got to go with Maryland 1 myself. America's green airline. Definitely a nice looking aircraft. Wow, Maryland 1 should be getting ready for its trip soon. Actually, I could be wrong. It might be spending the night. Yeah, it's actually, nope, it's heading out. Should be heading out soon for the flight back to Baltimore. It's flight 3375. As we wait on that one, we'll grab the NetJet Citation out of Chicago. I'm not sure who's on that, but I would imagine that the client probably won't be happy with the rough landing there. Business jets usually come in pretty soft. But they're dealing with the wind tonight. As are we up here on the hill. We got a little bit of wind that we're fighting up here tonight. Delta or United Express, sorry, 5695 inbound from Chicago, about 5 minutes out. Looks like there may be a Learjet coming in behind that. Southwest 1409 inbound from Baltimore, about 35 minutes out. We have JetBlue out of Boston, about 45 minutes out. American Eagle 4409 is about a half hour out. Frontier, we're still waiting on here. I feel like the St. Louis Air Show is teasing something. And I kind of feel like it's a B2 because the post they just showed is like a blue sky. So I wonder what they're teasing as their next act. Was thinking about going to that air show, but with the the Red Arrows and Patrol de France coming over. I'm kind of looking at what those two demo teams do. It's tempting to either do Jones Beach or Baltimore. So they kind of wait and see what's going on. Going back to the comments, we have Wings Over with a great screen name there. Says, hello, hope you're doing well today. Geeklore said they had a simultaneous emergency go on when Delta came in and called Cleveland Fire Department and had them staged just outside Frontier. It was nuts. I was wondering what was going on because from here I could see a whole bunch of lights over by FedEx, and I was wondering what was going on with that. I'm surprised, to be honest, that the news hasn't picked up on that one yet. Glad for Delta and for everyone involved that they haven't picked up on it, but definitely was surprised that that wasn't picked up either on the local news or social media or whatnot more than it was. Seattle Seagull says, are they going to build a new concourse where Concourse Delta is? Your guess is as good as mine on that one. So the original terminal, the original master plan that they presented a couple of years ago had the new layout had what was called Concourse Echo that was going to be built off of Concourse, I think it's off of where the Charlie Concourse is, and then go over that way kind of parallel to the garage and then cut over. And so that would be roughly where Concourse Delta is. But when they unveiled they only unveiled phase one officially, was it last year now, the year before? And that was just for the parking garage, the parking lot in with the terminal head house. So where you go in and you go through security and go to your gates and everything like that. That girl's motorcycle helmet was fantastic. She looked like Batman. But anyways, but they didn't announce anything with the concourses. They just showed like these glass bridges that are going to connect the new terminal with the existing concourses. And they said that the concourses will be part of a phase two that should be completed sometime in 2040. So your guess is kind of as good as mine on that one. But if they go with the ones that they presented, there would be a new concourse over there. Right now, the plan though is to build a parking lot where that concourse is, and actually all the plans have shown that concourse actually staying in place, which is kind of weird. But the animation and everything that they use actually has the concourse still in place, and they just painted a bunch of parking spots around it. So kind of, I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see. But that parking lot is supposed to be the first step of the terminal modernization project, because they're going to build that parking lot. They're going to build a parking lot where the old hotel used to be. And then once those are done, they'll close the red and blue lots. They'll close the smart garage. And then they'll close the orange lot. So parking's going to be a good time up here in about a year. But they'll close the orange lot, and they're going to build a new parking deck where the orange lot is, and then the new terminal is going to go roughly where the current parking garage is. And so they're going to build these bridges that'll connect the new terminal with the existing concourses, and that's how it's supposed to be for the time being. And I really, really hope that isn't how it's going to be forever. But this all should be wrapped up in 2032, and then they said there should be a phase two, which will be the new concourses. That'll be completed in 2040. But like most things involving Cleveland, not the airport specifically, but just the city, I'll believe it when I see it. For me though, I wish there was a faster way to do it. Like, I wonder if maybe putting the new airport over where the IX Center now is might have been a better idea, but I'm not really sure what the road networks and how much actual space is over there. But I just look at Pittsburgh being open now, and I look at Columbus with their new airport that should be open in 2029, and the new stadium that'll be open here in 2029. It just goes, man, why is it going to take so long? But I'm looking forward to seeing it. The city needs it. This terminal, these concourses, the road network, which is also going to change, that goes into the airport, which might even be the biggest change. All of it is very sorely needed. It's pretty dated here, so. This terminal was built, I think, in 1953. Some of the concourses are newer than that. But if you think that the airport actually predates the jet age, at least as it stands now, it's definitely sorely needed. Geekler says, that would be Steve. He's the greatest of the bald eagles. I agree. I love Steve. Steve the bald eagle, the original Frontier bald eagle livery. He just looks so regal sitting on that tail. Robbie says, hello. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. I hope you're doing well tonight. Captain Mickey Mouse says, found your channel and just sub. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoy the stream tonight. Wings Over says, get a load of Ohio weather. It's beautiful tonight. We'll take it tonight. It's not raining for once. I feel like it's rained almost every day for the last 6 weeks, so it's not raining tonight. We'll take it. But 90 tomorrow, or 89 I think tomorrow, and then back into the 60s and up to the 70s, and it's a roller coaster like it usually is. Just says, hi, did you see the footage of the 2 F-18s in Idaho at the air show today? All ejected, no word of injuries, but the video is pretty harrowing. Yeah, we were talking about those a little bit ago. That was the Navy's Growler demo team that had their accident. Glad to hear that everyone got out. That's the most important thing. That video is nuts. That's some of the craziest accident footage I think I've seen in a long time. And then the way the 2 jets got held together the way they did, really glad everyone was able to get out of that. And I'm really glad no one on the ground was hurt either. The Navy's really been cutting back on demo teams anyways. They were only supposed to do, I think, 4 shows this year. And then the 2 Rhino demos were only doing a handful of shows. The F-35C is only doing a handful of shows, I think. So I wonder long term if what happens with the Navy demo teams and if the Growler team will come back next year. But just glad that everyone got out and no one was hurting on the ground. That's the most important thing. I saw the Growler demo team at Thunder over Louisville a couple of years ago, and they do put on a good show. Air Canada Jazz heading back to Montreal. Sorry about that. Not sure exactly what happened with the focus there, but E175 for Jazz heading back to Montreal. A new flight for this year. First time in many years that Air Canada has offered service to Montreal out of Cleveland. Supplementing the Toronto flight that we already have on the E175s. Meanwhile, back in the penalty box is Republic 4409. I believe it's Republic 4409. That'll be heading to Chicago. It might be 3716 actually for United Express, but they're sitting over in the penalty box waiting for their their clearance. American Eagle pushing back from its gate. American Eagle is flight 4390. It's an E175 that'll be heading to LaGuardia. And American Eagle flight 5133, busy night for those folks working at Envoy tonight. It's a CRJ that'll be heading back to DCA. So 2 aircraft have pushed back and are taxiing simultaneously. Envoy handles all the American Airlines operations here out of Hopkins. Did have a good night? I could talk, I swear. They did a nice job getting these 2 aircraft ready to go. There's a CRJ in the background. Like Southwest should be getting close to pushing back as well. Maryland 1 will be heading back fittingly to Baltimore. We'll follow the American Eagle here. Embraer E175 for Republic Airlines. Keeping an eye on the Spirit aircraft that are still at airports. There's still 3, I believe, at DTW. There's still 1 at Pittsburgh. So no change from last weekend as Maryland 1 pushes back. Nomadic Aviation on their cockpit confessionals, if you haven't checked out that video on YouTube, really cool video about how they've handled moving the Spirit aircraft that have been parked at different airports. It's really sad what happened there, but pretty neat video those guys posted. I wonder if the ones that are sitting at various airports around the country still are the ones that Spirit actually owned outright. So I think, if I remember right, they had something like 68 of their aircraft when they shut down, were leased aircraft. And then like 20, maybe 20 exactly, were actually owned by Spirit. So I wonder if the ones that are sitting out at different airports around the country that haven't been moved in the desert yet, I wonder if they're the ones that the airline actually owns, and how long they'll hang around before they get moved. Last weekend I went up to Detroit to catch one of them leaving. I kind of wanted to see one again before they're all gone. We'll have to wait to see what happens with the other ones. Still kicking myself for either not going to Detroit the night that they shut down or Columbus. We had an A321neo at Columbus. That kind of mad at myself for not going down there to check out. They all came in late at night, but it would have been cool to see it. It would have been neat to see it before they were gone. Detroit got the banana livery, which is what I was hoping to see, but wasn't meant to be, I guess. American Eagle heading out, heading to LaGuardia. That's a good looking aircraft in the light, isn't it? Maryland 1 getting ready to head to Baltimore. So Captain Mickey Mouse said, what's going to happen with the planes at CMH when they close? Oh, they're not closing. They're building a new terminal. So the new terminal is off. I guess if you're standing on the garage looking south, it's off to the right. So once that new terminal, which is it's a little bit closer to where the air traffic control tower is and the rental car lots are. So when that airport terminal is done, they're going to tear the old one down. But the parking garage will stay, and then there's going to be a new parking garage that they're putting down there next to the new terminal. So looking forward to kind of seeing what the view is going to be like from that garage. It'll be nice for passengers down there because if I remember right, the existing airport, you have to go through multiple security checkpoints depending on which terminal you go to. And so it'll have a centralized security checkpoint. And it's going to have additional wide body gates and customs gates as well. Right now, I think they can handle 2 wide bodies, 2 or 3 wide bodies, I think, down there, which you'll see for like Buckeyes charters and stuff like that. But Columbus is expecting big things as that city continues to grow. And then Rickenbacker, the other airport down there, will have continues to have Allegiant, and they're building the Anduril drone plant down there. So that'll be an interesting airport to see over the next few years as they begin to build the drones at Rickenbacker. You already got the cargo aircraft to go in, so pretty cool airport to see some really cool stuff occasionally, like the Antonov AN-124 and some of the cargo jets that'll come in from overseas. Of course, it's an Air National Guard base as well, so you got the KC-135s, and eventually they're going to get KC-46s down there, and you never know what you're going to see down there. Maryland 1 lining up for departure. I believe it's flight 1404, if I remember right. Southwest flight will be heading to Baltimore. As they head out into an absolutely beautiful night. A little breezy, not a cloud in the sky here tonight. It's a beautiful night to be outside. As Southwest heads out, we got American 1078 taxiing out for departure. It's a A319. They'll be heading over to Chicago. Southwest Spidewires, flight 1409. They are heading to BWI, Baltimore, Washington. American's taxiing quick. Meanwhile, United is out of the penalty box. The United Express E175 will be in the background here in a second. As America heads out, we'll go ahead and grab the United Express. American Eagle 4409 on final from Chicago O'Hare, about 2 minutes out, followed by Southwest 1409 out of BWI. The Southwest that left, there's two for BWI. It was 3375 for Maryland 1. 1409 is the inbound flight. I'm just looking at the what's up above, and I grabbed the wrong one. So we got American Eagle and we got Southwest inbound. United Express is flight 3716, and they will be heading out to Newark. Frontier showing 851 as the new 851 Eastern. 2041 Eastern for our 2041 for our military timekeepers out there. So about another hour before Frederick the Bald Eagle should be getting here. Something I haven't seen tonight is an actual United mainline flight in a little while. The wind finally succeeded in knocking my hat off. It's been trying all night. It finally made it happen. Wings over is asking, am I an aviator? And I am an aviator tonight. Nice night to be up here. I thought about doing it at the garage, but with the wind tonight, this seemed like the better place to be. We don't get quite as much wind over here, and the lighting will be more in our favor from this angle, so I went over the aviator tonight. Dale is here, says good evening. Well, hope you're doing well tonight, Dale. Marge says, great to see plane spotty in the KCLE. Welcome to spring in Ohio. Finally. American Eagle CRJ lining up for departure. Should be heading to DCA. Actually, I am wrong. That is a business jet, I think. Or is it Delta? Nope, it's Delta. Delta Connection CRJ heading out. Heading over to LaGuardia, flight 5495. A lot of business jets in town this weekend for the commissioning of the USS Cleveland. Downtown yesterday. Oh, most of it went over to Burke. Had some business jets in town for the weekend. Beaklor is asking, wonder what the city will do with the IX Center now that they're done doing shows and the deal fell through at Amazon. I really thought they'd start cargo operations there. And I'm wondering that myself, what they're going to do over there. Hopefully not a data center. That's the one thing we don't want. I would love to see it be something that has to do with the airport, so a cargo facility or something that needs access to the airport. Because there's only one airport. You can build warehouses anywhere, but there's only one airport. So something that needs access to the runways, needs access to aircraft. A manufacturing facility or something like that for aircraft would be incredible, but hey, I do wonder long-term what to do with that. I also wonder what long-term what happens with the NASA Glenn hangar. So the aircraft that were based here, the PC-12, the two T-34s, they have been moved. They're out at the Armstrong Flight Research Center in California now. So they are not here right now. And that hangar was put up for lease last year. United was rumored to be interested in leasing that hangar as a maintenance facility, but for what I heard, it fell through. So I do wonder long-term what happens at NASA Glenn. The research center is still open. They're still doing all kinds of research and everything over there. But it doesn't seem like they're going to keep aircraft out here anymore, which is a shame. I mean, the PC-12 and the T-34s weren't the most exciting things in the world compared to some of the other aircraft in NASA's fleet, but it was still exciting to see them. So we got a few buildings out here. I wonder what they're going to do with them long term. There's also the Neil Armstrong facility out in Sandusky, the former what used to be called Plumbrook, I believe. And apparently they're interested in selling land around that facility as well, as NASA continues to cut back. Which, not to get political for a second, but that's one of the most frustrating things to me about the everything going on with the current administration, and all the cuts that are going on to science and technology and healthcare and NASA specifically. We just had the incredible Artemis II mission, which is absolutely incredible and really brought a lot of people together, and I think really inspired people, especially younger people. And just to see all the cuts that are going on with NASA, you know, with job cuts and budget cuts and stuff like that, and you know, some of the cancellations with Gateway and all that. I mean, go all night about that, but realistically, I wonder about Artemis 3 and Artemis 4. But no, it's a shame. I mean, NASA's one of the greatest things that humanity in general, I think, has ever done with human space flight and all the scientific research, the probes that have been sent to other planets, and the collaboration with the European Space Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, with Russia. After the Cold War, everything that they did with Skylab and Mir and the International Space Station and everything, and just as we get so much benefit out of all that. I think they say that for every $1 that they spend on NASA, we get $4 back or something like that. So, and we really don't spend that much on NASA compared to a lot of other things, and so it's so frustrating to me to see all that. I think a thriving space program just benefits us so many ways, as far as not just scientific research, but just the technology that comes out of it, the healthcare that comes out of it. You know, I mean, we're doing a live stream today using a mobile hotspot. You might be watching on a cell phone. I mean, those are all inventions that, you know, came either directly from or out of the space program. So, I don't know, I hate to say, I think over 500 people here at Glenn lost their jobs last year with the budget cuts, so it's sad to see, for sure. Getting the Delta aircraft fueled up for its flight back to Atlanta. Delta connection, or sorry, JetBlue 541 inbound from Boston, about 10 minutes out. And there's a Falcon inbound, as well as Southwest 4258 out of Las Vegas. And nope, that's heading to Burke. So we got a few aircraft inbound now. Thank you so much for the super chat, Wings Over. Really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for your support. It means a lot. Sunilla's here, says very nice. Maryland 1. Such a cool aircraft. I'm not sure what's going on here, but we got an airport ops vehicle. And I think he's trying to get over, and this car will not let him over. And so the car's flipping him off and honking at him. Nice. Geeklar said, I think it's funny how some aircraft have acquired Spirit's aircraft and just kept the yellow and stripped the Spirit name off of it. Yeah, what was it, a Vietnam airline, I think it was? I saw that, where they literally just took a slightly different shade of yellow and painted over the old logo. I do wonder what will happen with the rest of the Spirit aircraft, though, and how many fly again and how many get scrapped. I know a few of them have been scrapped. At least going back to February, there was a scrapper that put out an article saying they acquired a couple 4-year-old A320neos to be scrapped. So we'll see what happens with a lot of them. I mean, they have the Pratt & Whitney engines on them, and they also have the high-density seats. So, you know, how many airlines may be interested in jumping on them? I'm sure some will, but I do wonder how many will. There was a rumor that the Columbus Blue Jackets are looking at purchasing an aircraft because they had so many issues with New Pacific going under, and Swift, I think Swift carried them and they went under. Or they were bought out by Eastern or whatever ended up happening, so they lost those contracts. And that the Blue Jackets are interested in maybe purchasing an aircraft now because they're tired of dealing with airlines going under. And so I wonder if maybe they consider picking up one of those former Spirit aircraft. I think there's a bald eagle off to my right. Oh, is it an eagle or a heron? It's pretty far away from me. It might just be a heron. Definitely see both of them here. Pretty common to see bald eagles flying around, herons flying around. I've seen bald eagles mating here, which is pretty crazy to see when they fall out of the sky. And then in the winter, we'll get the short-eared owls. I never did see the snowy owls. I think that's a heron, but always a decent amount of wildlife around here. Lots of seagulls as well. Unfortunately, it's flying away from me. I was hoping to fly over towards us, but that one is flying away from us. Southwest pulling into their gate. As we see coyotes around here quite a bit too. There's been a couple of times I've been up here and they've had to send ops out to chase them off the runways. I think I got a video I shot a couple of years ago when I was still on my phone, using my phone to do these videos. But there's a coyote running on 6 left over there. Good, you never know what you're gonna see at the airport. Jeff said we have lots of military jets on the way overseas and lots of touch-and-goes like the C-5s. Yeah, I'm jealous. You get to see some cool stuff up there for sure. Geekler says we can't handle one wide body here. It's so sad. We have A14 and C2. And the biggest thing is at C2 is a 767. Anything will fit at A14, but there can't be any airplanes at A or 11 or 12. Once upon a time, we used to have quite a few wide body jets here though. If you go back to the United Hub days, the prior United Hub days, the DC-10, 747s. I think that 747 service to Chicago, which is really kind of crazy to think about how things have changed, but we can handle it. Things have certainly changed over the years though, for sure. It is pretty crazy to see a wide body at the gates as Frontier 1831 lines up for Tampa. It's pretty crazy to see a wide body at the gates. Every once in a while you'll see the Dubai Air Wing will park over there, and it's pretty crazy to see that. I've seen a few others. There's a Delta 767 that was at the gate once for a diversion, and they parked it over there. It was pretty crazy to see that. But yeah, that's definitely a drawback. If Cleveland wants to get international service, it's either going to be on narrow body aircraft like the Aer Lingus A321, or we need to do a lot better as far as our security checkpoints and our gates and stuff like that to be able to handle aircraft like that and the amount of passengers that they would bring in. We're due for a diversion at some point, a big wide body diversion at some point. Supposed to get some weather the next couple of days. Maybe it'll be the next couple of days. We'll have to wait and see. Another United Express E175 taxiing out. I'll take a look, see what's coming in. JetBlue on final. Airbus A220 out of Boston. The Falcon, I think, may be heading over to Burke. We'll keep an eye on it. There's also a Learjet that's heading in as well that I think may also be heading to Burke. But we'll get Southwest 4258 out of Las Vegas. And Southwest 4101 out of Phoenix. So a few Southwest aircraft coming in. A little farther out, United 1896, about 20 minutes out. 737 MAX 8 out of Los Angeles. United 1808, a MAX 9 out of Orlando. Southwest, or United 1501. The Uniteds are starting to show up now. 737-800 out of Tampa. We have a FlexJet Challenger out of Panama City that I bet is related to Panama One. The Panama government Embraer Legacy left this morning. It's been here for a little over a month due to maintenance. The FlexJet facility, the Constant Aviation folks, they handle maintenance on Embraer jets. And so that aircraft left this morning and it went to Panama City. I bet that this Challenger may be bringing some maintenance people back for FlexJet. We have Frontier 1055 about a half hour out at A321 out of Orlando. Frontier 3073 out of Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, A321 Neo, about an hour out. The other Frontier Special Livery still hasn't taken off. It's still down in Atlanta, so I think we're probably going to have to give up on that one tonight, unfortunately. We do have Frontier 3232 out of Las Vegas is about a half hour out, and United 2652 at Max 8 out of Chicago O'Hare. And it looks like Air Canada Jazz as well about to take off out of Toronto. The other United Express is sitting on the penalty box again tonight. Giegler says, I think they still have one PC-12, but they'll be taking it out soon. I might be wrong, though. I think it left. You might be right. They might still have one, but I think it left. I know NASA had a press release or something they put out a little while ago. But definitely miss seeing them around here. Jeff agrees with the NASA comments. Thank you so much. Giegler says, I want to see Iceland Air come here. We would love to see them back. We lost them after the MAX issues, and then COVID happened. I remember I was at work when they sent, I think it was either the Aurora livery or the Glacier livery. It was one of those two. They sent back in the day. And still kicking myself for that one. Kicking myself for missing the Air Canada Retro that was here last year too. But I guess you can't get them all. But I would love to see Iceland Air back. They left Detroit though, so that's probably not a great sign for them coming back, but they did add Pittsburgh. But I would love to see Iceland Air come back. Here's JetBlue. I wish it wasn't as windy. I'd have the shotgun mic on. You can hear the whale noises from the A220 as it rolls out. We had the Blueprint livery here on I think it was Thursday night or Friday night. We had that aircraft here, and I was over at Heartland on the other side. We had six left, 6 right ops that night, and I could hear that thing all the way to the gate as they got on and off the throttles. NetJet's heading out. Meanwhile, I think, I hear an engine running over there. I think Delta should be getting ready to push back. Flight 2750 to Atlanta. Meanwhile, Southwest is inbound. .737 MAX 8. Meanwhile, stuck in the box again, another United Express aircraft. Waiting for their clearance to head out. Southwest had just touched down, by the way, was flight 4258, just came in from Las Vegas. Another Southwest, flight 4101, is on final from Phoenix. New update on Frederick the Bald Eagle, the other Frontier Special Livery, 936 on that one. So we definitely will not be able to catch that one, I'm afraid. Really hoping to see two of them together, but not tonight. We'll have to try again sometime. You have a nice golden hour shot, though, of a E-175. Take a look at the comments. Forrest Doc, etc. says, low-key love the 757s. 757 is a great aircraft. Absolute blast to ride on one of those. Especially if you get one that's lightly loaded. Or even here, when the charter ones come in, if they leave empty, those things just leap off the ground. It's so much fun. Eagler said, I thought with the Air Canada flight from Montreal it was going to be a 737, but I guess we don't have the demand for it. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're right. Delta Connection is flight 4854. CRJ will be heading to Detroit. And then the United Express E-175 we've been watching is heading over to Washington Dulles. Gregory Reiser says, hello, been to this airport many times, used to live in Warren and worked in Cleveland a lot, but always go to the air shows at Lakefront. Well, thank you so much for being here. Hope you're enjoying your evening. And I hope you have the chance to come out to Lakefront for the show later this year. Might be the last one, you never know. Hope not. The city sure is pushing for it in the next couple of years to shut that airport down. So coming out and check out the Blue Angels and the F-22 this summer. As the Delta heads to Detroit, we got United Express lining up. They're going to be heading over to Washington's Dulles International Airport. The big United hub in Chantilly, Virginia. Home of the amazing Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center. Part of the Smithsonian and home to Space Shuttle Discovery. And a Concorde, and an F-14, and Jetfire, the SR-71 that was famously in the second Transformers movie. But far more significantly is the SR-71 that set the transcontinental speed record from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. just a hair over an hour on that aircraft's last flight back in 1991, 1992, somewhere around then. Great museum down there in over by Washington Dulles. Great museum in Dayton as well with the Air Force Museum. Probably two of the greatest aviation museums in the world for sure. I am going to make this sound really bad, and I apologize. The guy, it's like Jorga, I believe is how you say it. And again, if I'm butchering your name, I apologize. Here from Germany, well, welcome. Hope you have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your support tonight. Have a great night. Southwest on final from Phoenix, flight 4101. And then after that, a whole lot of United aircraft. 1808 from Orlando will lead us off. 1501 from Tampa will be the next one behind that. American Eagle CRJ flight 5566 getting ready to taxi out over there for its flight to DCA. We also have Frontier 2697 should be leaving eventually. I think a little closer to 9 o'clock from Maria the Bald Eagle. But I see it popped up live. A321neo wearing a special livery on its way to Phoenix. Here's the Max 8 for Southwest. Delta 2750, our 737-900 heading to Atlanta. Also should be pushing back here soon. Okay, hoping for better luck for these guys tonight. This is a flight that diverted back on, I think it was Friday night with the engine failure. And it's crazy to say engine failure. I know that's a term that can get blown up pretty easily or overused, but it was legitimately an engine failure. The right engine quit. Just a few minutes after takeoff, as the aircraft was in the Columbus area, they had to turn around and make the trip back. I posted a video this morning. If you haven't checked that out, grab all the ATC comms on that one, which was pretty wild to see. We caught that on a live stream Friday night. SkyWest 5992 for United Express is taxiing out for their flight to Chicago. E175, a lot of E175s here tonight. This one wearing the old livery for United, the former Continental Airlines merger livery. Continental Airlines livery became the merger livery after the United Continental merger was completed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of starting to miss these. I like to see the merger livery aircraft as they come through. Lots of memories with Continental Airlines here. They had a hub here for many, many years. They still had the maintenance facility over there that United uses, but you can still faintly read the word Continental on the side of the hangar over there. I always thought this was a really classy looking livery though, with the gold stripe and the gold globe on the tail. I kind of hope United keeps one when it's all said and done, and maybe does another Continental retro with it, but I know I'll definitely miss these once they're gone. They are taking their sweet time painting them though, so we've been able to enjoy them for quite a while, and probably still have a few years to go. realize it. Looks like the scanner died. I apologize. I wish with it plugged in, I can't hear it. So if it was beeping earlier, I apologize. I'm sorry. Take a look at that. United Express heading out, Southwest heading to the gate, and American Eagle is taxiing out. I didn't see someone comment in the chat about the beeping of the scanner, so I apologize. I didn't realize it was dying. So as American Eagle lines up, we'll grab the United 737. This aircraft is out of Orlando. So yeah, 737 MAX 9. Southwest pretty busy tonight, actually. We have three 737s for Southwest over there. Not really a super common sight to see so many. But 3 Southwest aircraft over there right now. If someone did say something about the scanner, I just did see it. I'm sorry. That is my mistake on that. American Eagle heading out. I believe they're heading to Washington Reagan National, DCA. Should have another United on final. MAX 8 inbound from Tampa. Delta 2750 has pushed back from its gate. 737 will be heading to Atlanta. Meanwhile, United brought their aircraft over to this side so we can get a nice up-close view of the MAX. MAX 9 wearing the new livery for United Airlines. The other one is rolling over to the other side, so it'll be a little farther away for us. But appreciate air traffic control tonight, bringing aircraft over here by us tonight. Our third United aircraft, I don't remember, this is the one from LAX, so if that one just landed, but our third United aircraft in a row inbound. This might be Tampa, and the last one was LAX. I forget. Well, I think we just saw our Ryanair landing for tonight. My goodness. United 1611 inbound from Newark, about 2 minutes out. The United had just landed was flight 1501 out of Tampa. The one ahead of it, the MAX 8, was from LAX, flight 1896. And then the lead aircraft was 1808 out of Orlando. After the next United, we'll have Frontier 3232 out of Las Vegas. A FlexJet Challenger out of Panama City, and Frontier 1008 out of Orlando. And then outside of that, we'll have United 2652 out of Chicago. There we go. We'll turn the scanner back on here.
Delta 2750, clear tower, wind 190 at 9, runway 24 left, clear takeoff.
Delta 2750 cleared to take off for Atlanta. United inbound from Newark. Delta on their way to Atlanta.
Good evening, radar contact, climb maintain 14,000.
Frontier 3232 on final. We also got Air Canada Jazz 735 out of Toronto, about 10 minutes out. Gregory set chili for 6 joules. Well, thank you so much. And thank you guys all so much for being here tonight. Again, I apologize for the scanner. I didn't realize it was dying there. So I didn't wear my headphones tonight, which I should have.
Trying to maintain 9 or down.
The last couple of times I wore the headphones, I had people come up to talk to me, and I felt kind of rude, not really listening to them with the headphones on. Not that I wasn't trying to listen, I just didn't hear them. So I didn't wear them tonight, and I didn't catch the scanner dying, so I apologize. Ruby the Reindeer.
5, turn left heading 340, 17,3000.
On an 80-degree night here in Cleveland. Touching down out of Las Vegas. That's a rough landings all of a sudden. The wind must have
if you look off to your left there,
really be blowing down there across the runway.
11 miles.
Air Lingus 9 Lima Tango taxiing out for departure. Got United down here now.
32 left, pop left on Gulf, Sierra, short runway.
At 1611, touchdown from Newark a few minutes ago.
662, turn right heading 150, descend and maintain at 4,000.
So as United taxis to the gate, we're going to go ahead and pick up Air Lingus.
210.
The 321neo for their flight over to Dublin. They taxi out. We got the NetJets Challenger inbound from Panama City. And again, I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe that they're probably bringing in mechanics who probably flew down this morning. Panama 1, the government aircraft for the leaders of Panama. The Embraer Legacy, that aircraft has been here for several weeks now for maintenance over at Constant Aviation with the FlexJet team. And it just flew back to Panama City this morning. So I wonder if they're bringing people back from that.
51 slow, descend and maintain 5,000.
We've definitely been spoiled as far as government aircraft so far this year. Hopefully we'll see some more soon. Aer Lingus 9 Lima Tango ready to head back to Dublin, about a 7-hour flight over to Ireland.
Frontier 3232, cross only 24 left and Sierra.
So Aer Lingus heads out. I see an American Eagle CRJ taxiing out for departure.
3232, good night.
Shamrock 9, contact departure, good one.
As one of Santa's helpers heads over to their gate. Ruby the Reindeer just came in from Las Vegas.
To the airport, Cleveland Airport, 22 o'clock.
Not a fun city to go if you're a Reindeer, I would imagine, Las Vegas.
Ground Frontier Flight 32, clear, 24 left.
Chet taxi behind them.
Okay, 32, clear down, taxi departure via Lima, Juliet 5, yeah.
Lima, Juliet 5, Juliet depart, Frontier Flight 32, have a good night.
Thank you.
That's Flight 5. Right 9 to 10 for departure, beginning rear contact line, maintain 149.
There's something we've seen a few of tonight, CRJs. The TSA operated aircraft, they are heading to Philadelphia as the Frontier taxis behind them. Alaska 216 should be taxiing out as well for their flight back to Seattle. And we got another Frontier inbound. Cubby the Bear inbound, I believe, from Orlando. April 21.
Clear tower, wind 190.11, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff.
And I see Alaska taxiing out now, so flight 216. They're a little delayed on their flight back to Seattle. Usually they get out of here before Air Lingus does. CRJ on their way to Philly.
35, contact, tower, good night.
And as American Eagle heads out, we'll grab Alaska. 737-900 tonight. Tomorrow morning, they're supposed to be sending the honoring those who serve livery, unless it's changed. I haven't looked in the last couple of hours, but Alaska's sending their special liveries early in the morning and not giving us anything fun at night. Jeff about to head out for tonight, says good night, take care, thanks for the live stream, talk to you soon. For Charlene from Old Town, Maine's Happy Landings. We'll hope you have a good night. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. I have to head out here pretty soon myself. We'll go pick up some dinner, get home, get the little one ready for bed, and get ready to work tomorrow. But we'll do another live stream either Tuesday, probably either Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll see what the weather does. We'll get the heavies on Monday nights, so we'll see what comes in. But we'll probably do it on Tuesday or Wednesday. Remember earlier when I said, man, we haven't seen the United main line in a while. Well, We found them. United inbound from Chicago. I think this is like the 5th or 6th one we've had in the last 15 minutes. 737 MAX 8.
Just going to maintain 5,000.
24 left is frequency. Frontier flight 1055. Cross, runway 24 left, that's near, then contact ground point 7.
Cross 4 left, near ground point 7, flight 10.
Good.
Frontier flight 1055, cross 4 left, Sierra, Bird Gate, Alpha 2.
Front flight 1055, Cleveland, ground, taxi via Lima, Juliet 5, Juliet to the gate.
Alright, Lima, Juliet 5, Juliet, 8, Frontier flight 1055. Above draw, ground point 39, 162.
And Alaska on their way to Seattle.
Alaska 216, contact departure, have a good one.
Good day, Alaska 216.
United 2662, Cleveland, ground, taxi Lima, Kilo to the gate.
Air Canada Jazz Flight 735, E175 inbound from Toronto, a couple of minutes out. Also a Southwest 2612 out of Chicago Midway.
Good afternoon, it's Alaska 216, checking in the climb. 3,000, climbing to 14,000.
Alaska 216, Cleveland departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 14,000.
Climb to and maintain, unrestricted 14,000.
So showing about 9:30 for Frederick the Bald Eagle, so we likely will not have two of the Frontier Special deliveries together tonight.
Good day.
That aircraft is a couple of hours late coming in. We're supposed to have had two of the 3 America's Green airline liveries together tonight, but
Jet 222, turn right,
wasn't
heading
meant to be,
035.
unfortunately.
That was 308 Whiskey information. X-ray is current at Akron, Canton. 70 ILS, runway 23. Whiskey on request.
Ground, front flight 2697, Alpha 10, push.
Flight 2697, Cleveland ground. Stand by, there's a company. I'm going to be passing behind you for a few seconds.
ILS runway 19. Just going to maintain 11,000.
Jet 735, left in November, cross, runway 24 left, then ground point 7.
135.1, good night.
7 push your discretion, I think.
Well, we got everyone here tonight. We've talked a little bit about Burke Lakefront Airport. Haven't heard any updates as far as what the city plans to do. There was a meeting, I think on April 15th, if I remember right, was the last meeting on Burke. Haven't heard anything since. But the Cleveland National Air Show put out an article saying, and a statement basically saying that should that airport close, it'll be the end of the air show. And so they put out a website. If you're interested in getting your voice, making your voice heard, reaching out to state and federal representatives and city representatives as well to try to keep the air show in town, reach out to clevelandairshow.com/call to action. Get you in contact with state, local, and federal representatives. But you can make your voice heard if you want to see Burke Lakefront stay, if you want to see the air show stay here in town, or if you feel the other way and you want the airport to close, you think something else should go there, then you can reach out as well. But definitely for those of us that are fans of aviation, love to keep the air show in town. So the Cleveland National Air Show goes back to 1929 here at Hopkins Airport. That was the first year that the National Air Races were held in Cleveland. I started off with the Bindex Trophy race that raced from what is the current Los Angeles International Airport here to Cleveland. Several world speed records were set as the races went on more or less every year from 1929 to 1949. There were a few years that it was held in Chicago, Los Angeles, and some other places as well. And then World War II happened in there as well. But the National Air Races really kicked off that. Those races were held here at Hopkins. So you think about the famous stories with like Amelia Earhart flew here, Jimmy Doolittle flew here. This is where the famous GB racers raced here. And so that continued more or less every year except for during the war until 1949. In 1949, Bill Odom was racing in the Thompson Trophy race, the premier race that was held as part of the Nationals, in his modified P-51 Mustang. Yeah, he lost control and crashed into a house over in Berea, which unfortunately killed a mother and a young child. So after that happened, the city passed a law saying there'll be no more aerial activity over neighborhoods in Cleveland like the Nationals. So the races went away. They were brought back in the 60s. I believe it was 1964 was the first year that the Cleveland National Air Races and Air Show were held at Burke Lakefront Airport. And it's been a Labor Day tradition ever since. The races eventually were moved to Reno, where the National Championship Air Races were held for many, 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 many years until just a couple of years ago out at Reno. But the air show tradition has continued downtown ever since the 60s. Could be in danger if the airport closes. So definitely, if you're interested in that, reach out and make your voices heard. And hope to see everyone downtown this year. Labor Day weekend for the Cleveland National Air Show, featuring the Blue Angels.
735.
The F-22 Raptor will be here.
The Southwest there. You can take Juliet 3 or 4 up to Lima to get around them.
Well, there's a bunch of other demonstrations. Hope to see you guys downtown. Labor Day weekend here in Cleveland. Or down in Dayton or Columbus for those air shows. We'll be at the Marine County Discover Aviation show as well.
Juliet 3, Lima, Juliet 6, back to Juliet 735, thanks.
And then we'll be going to Thunder over Michigan this year to see the Red Arrows. They were just announced today. I was going to go to St. Louis next month, but with the Red Arrows and Patrol de France announcements, I'm kind of thinking about trying to go chase those aircraft instead, those air show demos instead. So we'll kind of have to wait and see. But if the B2 goes to St. Louis, that might kind of swing me back. And then later on this year, depending on how things go, I'm kind of leaning towards possibly going to the Houston Air Show later on this year to see the NASA Freedom Team, and I think the F-100 will be there and everything else that's going on. So we got a fire truck coming through here now. Like they're getting on a highway. Hopefully everybody is okay.
Whiskey contact approach 125.5. Good night.
Definitely a lot of stuff going on. So hope to see you guys downtown
1409 Cleveland Ground,
this summer at the air show, or the Akron Fulton Props and Pistons show in August as well. And all the various Warbirds events that'll be around. We'll have several Warbirds in and around the Cleveland area this summer. We'll have both B-29s. We'll have the B-17 here this summer.
Yeah, it's pretty close, no worries.
So lots to look forward to as we go into the next few weeks. Air Canada Jazz taxiing to the gate just came in from Toronto a few minutes ago. Southwest is pushing back. We have another Southwest inbound.
3073, turn right, heading 030, just want to maintain 4,000.
So definitely lots of stuff going on. But thank you guys all so much. Your support really does mean a lot. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button down there. And if you really like it, hit that subscribe button. Hit 50,000 subscribers a couple of weeks ago. Such an incredible number, something I never in a million years thought would happen. As Southwest taxis out for St. Louis. So trying to see if we can get to 100,000 and get that plaque somewhere.
Runway 24 left, clear for takeoff.
Give 30 seconds.
If you haven't done so already, follow me on Instagram as well at Nick Flies Media. I post videos, photos, and any kind of updates I get. So if I find out that something cool is coming in, I'll post it on there for you to let you guys know.
All right, we'll line up 24 left, clear for takeoff, lane on top of 1409.
And check out the link to the merchandise store as well. I got a few t-shirts and hats and stuff like that out there. Everything goes to support the channel. Allows us to do some of the trips and events and stuff like that. And long term, if we're able to get enough support, would love to help fund a scholarship or something to help kids out to go into aviation. But that's a long-term goal that I would love to get to someday. But thank you guys all so much for your support. It means a lot. Southwest lining up for departure.
Left on November, left on Gold, golf, right on Sierra, hold short 24 left at 6, Southwest 2212.
Little fire truck going on the highway. I hope everything's okay. Not a serious accident or something like that out there. Hopefully everyone is okay.
73, turn left heading 360, just want to maintain 3,000.
Southwest heading to St. Louis. That's a lot of fire trucks, so. And there's actually a third one coming down the streets. I don't know if there's a fire or a bad accident or what's going on, but hopefully everyone's okay. Well, we are officially not going to get two America Green Airline aircraft in one shot. As Maria the Bald Eagle Frontier getting them out a little early tonight on their flight to
100.10, runway 24 left,
they're heading to Phoenix, if I remember right.
Southwest 1409.
Flight 2697 for Frontier on their way to Phoenix. It's America's Green Airline. Maria the Bald Eagle, one of the special liveries
across the beam, sure, get 3,000.
for Frontier. Another Frontier, flight 3073, inbound from Raleigh-Durham, about to turn final.
Southwest 1409, clear departure radar contact, climb and maintain 14,000. 4,000, Southwest 1409. Flight 3073, contact the tower. Good night.
Southwest 2612, cross 24 left at Sierra, then contact ground point 7.
Ground 24 left here, ground point 7 the other side. Good night, Southwest 2612.
Good night.
Bravo airspace, Northern Bravo airspace, maintain 6,500.
Frontier 3073, Cleveland Tower, wind 19010, runway 24
Frontier
right,
on
clear to land.
their way out to the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport.
Ground, Southwest 2612, Bravo 9, and I'd like to make a right here if it's
Runway 2697, Cleveland departure radar, contact, climb and
Well, that's going to do it for
4000.
tonight from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Got to head home and get some dinner, get the little guy ready for bed, and get ready for bed myself as I get ready for work tomorrow. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope everyone had a great weekend and got outside to enjoy the weather the last couple of days. But thank you guys all so much for your support. It really means a lot. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below. Comment down below, share with all your friends. Check out some of the other videos out there. If you haven't checked out the Delta Airlines diversion we had the other day, I posted that video this morning, so make sure you check that out. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather as we get into spring and we get closer to Memorial Day as well. But thank you guys so much for your support. Hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll catch you next time from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Have a great night, everyone.